Hello and welcome to the Physio channel. In this video, we're going to have a look at how to manage fatigue syndromes. We all have a limited amount of energy every day. Even with lots of caffeine, looming deadlines, and important responsibilities, we only have a certain amount of energy to meet our daily commitments. If you do manage to push beyond your daily energy limit, we will inevitably create an energy debt that leaves us exhausted the next day, at the weekend, or at a point in the near future. If you've ever been diagnosed with a fatigue condition, such as chronic fatigue syndrome, ME, or perhaps more recently, long COVID, and the fatigue associated with that, then the first step to successful management is acceptance. Acceptance that you have persistent fatigue, that you're not just being lazy. Acceptance that you have less energy than you are used to. And acceptance that fighting against the fatigue and trying to continually push yourself will only make things worse by compounding your fatigue. So let's have a look at what you can do. Having less energy on a daily basis will require careful planning to make sure you reserve enough energy for important and enjoyable tasks. For most people, it's not easy asking for help when you don't appear to have anything wrong on the surface. But successfully managing fatigue will require you to lower your threshold for asking for help, and this help may need to be consistent rather than a one-off. This may include someone doing a weekly shop for you, or transporting children to school or events. People with fatigue syndromes typically require more sleep, but often fight against this desire to sleep until it becomes overwhelming, often falling asleep then at inappropriate times or in inappropriate and sometimes dangerous places. Improving sleep and planning short sleep breaks in the day can help you to get control over your sleep pattern. Most of us commonly take a task-orientated approach to chores, like cleaning, washing, or gardening. This is not a helpful way to manage fatigue, as keeping going until you get to the completion of the task can see you nudging into an energy deficit in order to get the job finished. Instead of focusing on the completion of the task, set a time limit and stop when you've completed the planned time limit. Even if the task is not complete, you can then return to the task at a later time. To help you identify where you're spending the vast majority of your energy, it can be helpful to keep a diary of daily tasks. And then draw a circle around the tasks that drain your energy the most. And then highlight the other tasks that make you feel better and that perhaps give you more energy or allow you to rest. The aim of this task is to reduce the amount of time spent on energy draining tasks and to increase the amount of time spent on tasks that you enjoy or tasks that you would consider to be more restful. One of the reasons fatigue can significantly lower your mood is that you spend all of your energy on the things that you have to do, and therefore you have little energy left for the things that you enjoy doing. Some people have suggested that you could compare energy to money. It would make no sense to spend all of your money at work or during the week and then have none left to spend doing anything you enjoy at the weekend. Attempting to go for a run or hit the gym can often backfire, leading to further withdrawal from activity. The technical term for this response is post-exertional malaise, and it is common to have no or very low exercise tolerance as part of a fatigue syndrome. It is recommended that exercise take the form of just simple stretching and mobility exercises initially, and you should always then assess the next day response to any new exercise that you've been doing. If you find that you return to baseline the next day and your energy levels are stable, then it may be possible to increase the duration or intensity of your activity and exercise in 10% increments. But be careful not to do it too quickly or to get too carried away and over-motivated, particularly in those early days as you get started with exercise. It's important not to rush things and to be ready to cut back if required. So the advice is to start with stretch and mobility training. This could then be progressed to low impact strength training, and after that it could then progress perhaps to some sustained cardiovascular exercise. I mentioned acceptance at the start of this video. Following your initial acceptance, it's helpful to learn what your current threshold for activity is and to learn to stay below your current threshold on a daily basis. Doing this avoids the rush and crash or boom and bust approach to chronic fatigue and allows the opportunity to lift the lid gradually, to gradually increase your threshold and try to gradually elevate your daily energy levels. Attempts to force things too quickly will only make things worse and likely delay your recovery. Professionals and support groups can offer advice and support, but the nature of a fatigue syndrome puts you in control. There's no magic miracle drug or elixir that you can take that will suddenly make you better and increase your energy levels. You'll need to be the manager of your own condition. But do your best to recognise and avoid the rush and crash approach that we discussed, and also to make sure you don't fall into the slumber approach of remaining too far beneath your current threshold, doing too little activity. That is resting perpetually to the extent that you become more and more deconditioned. I hope you found the strategies presented in this video helpful. Please see the links in the description below this video, which are my recommended resources for you. Leave a comment below about your experience of fatigue, and if you're looking for some advice on the management of long COVID, please take a look at the video showing on the screen here. We've come to the end of the video now, so please subscribe, hit the like button if you found it helpful, and perhaps share the link with any friends you may know who are suffering from a fatigue syndrome.